Entara Tossadar, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kylaris, and we are back on Xel'Naga Caverns again for Dolovan versus mTwDeMusliM playing off-race. Oh my god. He did want to practice a little bit with his Zerg, as he finds Terran a bit boring. I'm not sure whether he would like me saying that or not, but it doesn't matter too much. I love him anyway, and it was such a privilege to be able to talk to him and chat with him, and it was a great night, one I will never forget in my StarCraft days. Inspired me quite a lot to become a better player. So yes, mTwDeMusliM is going to be playing off-race. I almost called him Dimaga then, and we do see Dolovan here playing Protoss. This is a bit of a longer game than the first one. If you didn't see the first one, go watch it. It was quite entertaining. These are all exclusive replays. I like to call them exclusive, but I'm sure no one really cares that much. And they did play a lot of other games, but they were all like Terran versus Zerg and Zerg versus Terran and stuff like that. So I can't really legitimately cast them without going against my code of conduct, which is casting Protoss exclusive games. So yeah, sorry about that. It doesn't matter. If somebody does want the replays of those or whatever, then you're more than welcome to. And I was actually typing quite a bit in this game in the observer chat, but it seems like I can't see that. It doesn't matter. Where's my view? This is what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter anyway. We do see now a spawning pool going down for mTwDeMusliM at 14. Very, very standard timing there by mTwDeMusliM, as well as a standard gateway for Dolovan as well. And throwing down an assimilator as well in order to be able to grab the early kind of zealots, stalkers and sentries, etc., so you can force field the ramp effectively. Second pylon going down for Dolovan here, and just to point out this to most Protoss players, you really want to get an overlap of energy on your initial buildings as Protoss with this second pylon. The reason being, if they snipe that first pylon, it's pretty much GG right there if you don't have these overlapping. So very important to note for you guys that you should be doing this in most of your matchups. So now mTwDeMusliM going for that quick hatchery. Hasn't gone for his gas quite yet. Normally Zerg players do go spawning pool, normally they go gas spawning pool hatchery or spawning pool gas hatchery, but mTwDeMusliM throwing in this out here a little bit and going to be fending off this probe with these Zerglings. I've got a bit of lag actually, and I must apologise to people that view my channel. I haven't been bringing that many games as of late. I was participating in a few cups, hence why I'm at Dolovan, and also I've been in contact with my Taiwanese company who wants me to write the hunter guide for them during Cataclysm. So yeah, that's where I've been. Sorry about not bringing as many videos I would have liked to. And Dolovan throwing down an interesting pylon here at the front of his base. I'm not sure why he's throwing that down there. Maybe it's serving for some purpose later on. Maybe going for some kind of forge expand. We'll have to see how that goes later on in the game. But we do see now mTwDeMusliM moving out with a few zealots. Zerglings, in order to see what's going on in the base of Dolovan, and it seems like this pylon is in a very risky place here, and it's going to be getting picked off by these Zerglings, as he can't move this zealot down here too much, otherwise they can just run by. So he is now researching warp gates, and nice force field there, but it's going to prove to no avail as that pylon has gone down from that Zergling harass. And now mTwDeMuslim's expansion is up and running, as well as this queen injecting nicely, keeping on top of the macro, whilst we do see a few more gateways going down for Dolovan. And a pylon being thrown down at the back of the base here. I do enjoy doing this, kind of hiding some tech behind your mineral line, etc. Very nice. And Dolovan now moving out with a sentry and a zealot. I'm not sure that this is wise, as these could quite easily get picked off at this point in the game. Although that being said, I think mTwDeMusliM is wanting to save a lot of his larvae for drones at this point. Although he's producing 8 zealots, Zerglings. Oh my god, I get so tongue-tied during these games. So bite my own lip there and I bite my thumb at you, sir, and that's got nothing to do with this cast, so it doesn't matter. And now this sentry, oh my god, is getting tried to pick off there by these Zerglings. And let me restart this whole thing, because seriously, I'm so tongue-tied. Now a few more zealots coming out for Dolovan, and these Zerglings are trying to pick these off as much as possible. He doesn't have speed yet, although speed is being researched, and we do see now a layer going down for mTwDeMusliM, as well as a second gas. A lot of queens just injecting here, and now Dolovan is trying to secure his first expansion. Nice timing on that first expansion. There's not really much at this point DeMusliM can do about that, although he does have a lot of Zerglings, so he probably could have done a run by at this point, although this is quite a few zealots at this point in time, and now throwing down this proxy pylon in order to be able to try and put on a lot of early pressure. Big surround going on there with all these units here, so these zealots are going to go down. He really needs to cancel that pylon at this point, but he's going to let it finish. Oh, he let it finish, so it doesn't matter too much. That's a bit of 100 wasted minerals there. And now we just see a lot of sentries come out for DeLovan at this point. And at this point, I mean, DeMusliM, playing off-race, is in a commanding position. He could move up with these Zerglings, get a bit of harassment on this Nexus, although that is quite a lot of sentries, so some nice force field play could shut that down quite easily. Now moving in, well, a lot of Zerglings, trying to have a little bit of poke at that Nexus, and a lot more Zerglings coming in from DeMusliM here at this point. Let me just point out again that this is a fun game, so nothing serious going on here, other than DeMusliM showing us how to play Zerg. A lot of force fields going down there on this engagement. All these Zerglings going to need to run away as quickly as they can, but some Zerglings did get in there, picking off a few of those sentries. And it seems like DeMusliM's going to need to move back at some point, and since there is quite a few probes getting in the action, they're trying to take out as many as possible, and these sentries are going down a little bit as well, but all these Zerglings are going to be taken down by the assistance of these probes and these sentries, as well as these zealots that were getting in on the mix. So now DeMusliM does have quite a nice coverage of the map here. He has a lot of vision using these two Xel'Naga watchtowers, and he already does have this Hydralisk Den, as well as researching improved range for his Hydras, grabbing another two Vespene Geysers in order to make sure that he can fund any kind of Hydra production. And the Hydra production is going to effectively shut down any gateway play that DeLovan can do at this point, since he will need to mass a lot of gateway units against the tier 2 Hydras in order to be able to make them effective. He is now researching Hallucination, and I love that he's researching Hallucination, because Hallucination's frigging fantastic and not enough people research it. And now DeMusliM's just getting quite a few Hydras here. It's kind of a calm game at this point, so going to be seeing what he's wanting to do with these Hydras later on in the game. Nice blocking off with these pylons on this choke. A lot of players do not do this and get abused by speedlings through this entrance, so if you're wanting to kind of prevent speedling harass on your probe line from this direction, just throw down two pylons. It's a really effective way to shut that down, so you can get your forces over there in time, because the speedlings just don't kill the pylons fast enough. Now, keeping on top of his Chrono Boost, very nice there. A lot of players, again, forget Chrono Boost during the later stages of the game, and throwing down a few more gateways, as well as reinforcing with more gateway units. But at this point, I'm not so sure. I need to check this. DeLovan doesn't see these Hydras at all, so it's going to be a case of he needs to find those, he needs to be able to see those, and he needs to be able to make sure that he can actually counter those effectively, probably by going Robo Bay into Colossi. Since they are just rip Hydralisks to shreds. I do see now 2 Evo chambers down for DeMusliM in order to be able to get these upgrades out as quickly as possible. Sending out a hallucinated Phoenix at this point in time to see what he can see. Sees this Overlord in the middle, and it doesn't do much since it's a hallucination. It doesn't do much damage to them. And it seems like he has seen these Hydras now with that hallucination, so he's going to be wanting to, and getting another gateway now actually. So he's going to be wanting to transition into something other than gateway units if he wants it to be effective. Making sure that he's not Psylocked. Oh, he did get Psylocked for just a second there, but I'm pretty sure his warp gates are still on cooldown. And we do see now a Spire coming down for DeMusliM, as well as a third base going down as well. So now moving out. Oh, hallucinating 2 Colossi. That's going to be a very that's a very clever move from DeLovan, as that's going to be making sure that DeMusliM can't actually push against these units unless he does have an Overseer, and I don't think he does at this point. So at this point, DeMusliM does see these Colossi and doesn't want to move out against them, because there's no way that, in theory, that if these Colossi were real, he'd be able to actually do anything against these using Hydras. So now picking off these 2 Evo chambers, very nice timing on that, and moving in with these Hydras in order to be able to fend it off. A few force fields going down there, making sure that he can't get to his gateway units. Very clever use there of hallucination. In fact, DeMusliM on Vent was on Skype even said, "Ooh, I can't beat that," and then He did see, using his creep, that the hot colossi were hallucinations, and he was throwing some abuse at Dlovan because he was angry at the fact that he fell for the trap. So he did lose those 2 Evo chambers and a lot of research time to hallucinations. So they're just showing that even the best of players can be tricked by hallucination, and you should get hallucination because it's frigging awesome. So Dlovan just sticking with gateway units at this point. He's got 6 gateways pumping out units as well as a forge going down, getting a bit high on minerals, but he's going to be warping in a lot of units at this point in time against these Hydralisks. Still, it does, even though Hydras are technically a very, very good counter to gateway units at this point, Dlovan, if he does reinforce enough and just gets a lot of shit, to paraphrase Day 9, then he's going to be in a firm position, since he's just